All right, good morning, everybody. So I'm going to talk about Google Classroom a little bit. I use this when I've taught information literacy courses online. I create it a little bit sleeker, a lot more intuitive than Moodle. This might be a good option for those of you that aren't necessarily using Moodle already. If you're already using Moodle, my suggestion is to stick with that because it's more consistent both for you and your students. The thing that I really like about Google Classroom is because we already are using G Suite for education, our students kind of know how to use it. It's just like any other Google product, Google Forms, Google Docs, Google Sheets, whatever. So to get to Google Classroom for the first time, if you go onto just any kind of basic page and go to your apps over here and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's an option for Google Classroom. If you do not see that when you go there, there's an option to expand your apps list. Go ahead and click expand and then that should open. So when we click into Google Classroom here, you can see that these are the classes that I have already put up. So I copied over some classes. I took out the students. So everyone that is a student in here is one of its colleagues, just for example. So there's not personal data or anything, but the add class is really easy. So you just come up to this plus button over here, and when I do, I need to make my cursor bigger. Okay. So if we click the plus button, we can create a class. So we can name it whatever we want. So I'm going to go test section A. So the sections become a little important if you're teaching a class that has multiple sections because you can populate all of those sections at one time. So if you have test A, test B, test C, I can put information on all of them simultaneously, even though different students can access different portions. So if I go ahead and create this class, it's going to take a hot second, and then it's going to open up kind of the main screen. So today's class is about golf, because that's the theme of this. You can change your theme up here. So they've got random stuff, and then you can upload. Now maybe you can't upload. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So we're about this one. Okay. So this is your main course screen. So over here, we have this class code, which is what is needed in order to have this class. So you do not have to add your students manually. You can, but they can take this code and add themselves into your class. So I'll do that. If I go into my Morse Library account, I can go up to this plus button. I can join a class, so I'm a student on this one. So I'm going to put in the class code and join the class. Okay, so now I'm a student in this class. Yeah.
And I apologize, probably lost some comparison. Here, we are relying on the student joining the class, correct?
Not necessarily.
Moodle already has the class list up. Right. Because you have built all our classes into Moodle. Right.
Right. So the question is, do you have to rely on your students to add themselves into your course? And the answer is not necessarily. In Moodle, those things are already populated because we have the class list from the registrar. This is a little bit different, but you can add your student names. I can show you that too. Yes?
Mine is invite this parent. And then I just click on the invite, accept.
Yeah, so that's what I'll show you next. So if I go back to where I am the teacher, if I go up here and actually really quickly, in the class stream, you can see kind of the banner. This has the course details, the upcoming over here when we put in things with due dates. it shows up on what's coming up due next so that it keeps students kind of cognizant of what is coming up in class. Here's where you can communicate. So this is like your announcements piece. So in Moodle, you might have an announcement that you send out that says, hey, welcome to the online section. This is going to be a little bit different, but we're going to get through it together kind of thing. So you can just do that. Nope. There we go. So you can either schedule this. So let's say you're building your course right now, but classes aren't starting back until Monday. You can schedule this to post first thing Monday so that students kind of see it fresh there. Or you can just go ahead and post it. You can also save it as a draft if you're working but you're not finished. And then a student would see that their professor added a kind of announcement and they could respond. So that is one way to kind of talk to your students there. So in order to kind of talk to your students, you have to add them to your course first. So if you go up to this People tab, it becomes incredibly easy to add new people. If you co-teach a class, you can add a teacher. This might also be a good option for if you want to embed a librarian or if you have a TA. The one thing I will say about that is in Google, you cannot restrict teachers from seeing a gradebook like you can in Moodle. However, you have already established a gradebook for this semester, probably not on Google Classroom, and you'll probably continue to use that, so it might not be as important this semester. Does that make sense? Cool. So to add a teacher, I can come up here and I can say I'm going to add Athena as a co-teacher. You're going to have to do all the work with me.
Oh, gosh.
And then I can add like Kelly as a student, for example. So all of this stuff is already like coming in through Gmail. So if you email your students at all, they're going to be really easy to find and add. So my suggestion is go ahead and add them manually. It's really quick and easy. They're going to get that invite link that you were talking about, and they can just click through them. Alternatively, you can add them, and then when they pop up in their own kind of classes, there will be a thing down here that says somebody's invited you to this class, please join. So it's pretty easy to join. Okay. So users. Okay. So when you add your students to this class and then you start adding your content, they're going to get every email saying you've added something. And it's going to be like 15, 16 emails at a time. And so are you. So we can turn these settings off. So if you go to this 3 lines over here while you're populating a class and go down to settings, you can change the profile picture, email notifications. So I had them turned off, now they're turned on. So I recommend turning these off while you're populating your class. That way you're not getting emails saying that you're doing stuff that you already know you're doing. And I would do this before you add students to the class, because otherwise they're going to get inundated with emails. Okay. Now let's go into a class. And there are also class settings. So if we come up to the settings wheel over here, you can kind of add a description, subject to your class details. Here's your general kind of stuff. So this is your class code again, but also you can control what happens on the stream. So the stream is that kind of prompt piece where I said, hey, welcome to the class kind of thing. You can say, I'm the only person that can write and comment on that. So that's where you can control announcements like, hey, I've changed the due date for this project that we assigned before break, for example. You can have students able to comment on posts that you are making. So if they say, hey, I don't understand what's changed about this particular assignment, they could write that there. Or you can have students post and comment on things. So they could post on the stream and say, does anybody know what due date is for the next assignment, for example. So that's kind of up to you. The stream can get a little cluttered if a lot of people are using it and it is not always apparent that somebody has posted to that if like multiple people are posting there. So I would maybe do students can only comment for now, but that's kind of personal preference. You can also control classwork on the stream. So when you add details about classwork, you can say, you know, I don't actually want that there. I just want that to be for announcements. Or you can show like all the details, or you can show that you've added something to a piece. You can also toggle on deleted items. So if you add a reading and then you say, you know what, this isn't the one that I want, and then you change your mind, you can delete it and then find it again and reinstate it. And then there's the grading portion. This does have a gradebook embedded. It's kind of new to Google Classroom, but it's okay. So if you kind of want to use the gradebook piece, you could, and I'll show you what that looks like in a populated class. So let me just start those. So this is a class that I have done stuff in, and you can see that I didn't turn off the post classwork in the stream, so I've got a long thing full of comments. If you go up to the settings wheel and scroll down to the gradebook, I can see I'm kind of doing a weighted by category. So I have like percentage of participation versus homework. You can do total points, or you could say no overall grade. So my recommendation is if you're going to continue to use your gradebook that you've already established for the semester, say that this is no overall grade and remind students that they can check their progress wherever you were doing that before. That way they don't get concerned that you haven't graded items, because I know that students do that, because I know that I did that as a student. You can also choose to show grades to students or not. And here's where you can add your grade categories. So does anybody have questions about that so far? We're good? Cool. So, all right, so next is our course page structure. So here is where the majority of your stuff is going to be located, is in this classwork tab. So we come over here, we can see that I broke this out into pieces like topics. So whereas Moodle starts with weeks, this starts completely blank, and then you can come in and create a topic. So my first one is like the syllabus day. So like, welcome to the course. This is what you need to have before we come to our first class, kind of thing. And then I have it by week. So one of the nice new features of Google Classroom is that you can click on the week on the side, and it only shows you what you have to do for that piece. So that's kind of a way to make it a little less lengthy. I had a lot of stuff in here. I was kind of an instructor. Yes.
Since we're halfway through a term, do we need to be putting in syllabus and all the rest of the stuff at this point?
My recommendation, so the question is, do you need to add a syllabus to your course because you're already halfway through the term? It kind of depends on what you're doing, what your course is. My recommendation would be yes. If it's the same syllabus, go ahead and upload it, because then it's easier for you to say everything you need to know is still in the syllabus. That's more kind of for you. But if you're changing any of your courses, we've already had students comment saying, I'm kind of concerned that this assignment won't translate online. What's the new reading? What's the new assignment? So they kind of want to know. So I would go ahead and add the syllabus, although I don't think you need to waste a day kind of making students read it. Does that make sense?
Cool. I would absolutely recommend adding whatever modifications you need from the syllabus into the course, at least keep it acceptable. It's also going to be really important to let students know where help resources are now, whether needs is going to be doing online online support and so the Writing Center and things like that, and just giving you ways to get in touch with those folks to get tutoring and support.
Yes, and that is true for the library as well. So, kind of a thing, Kelly and I are both admins on Moodle. So if you're teaching in Moodle, we're going to kind of be already in your course. So if students have library questions, you could maybe have a discussion board post about questions they have about resources and library stuff. And Kelly and I can go ahead and answer those for you, just to kind of take some stuff off of your plate. If you're teaching in Google Classroom, you can add it as a co-teacher, or just as a student, you can have comment rights. But also we'll create kind of a statement on how to get in contact with us. So you could add that to your class and say, if you have any questions, please contact the librarians. So that can kind of help answer some of the questions that students are going to have. So Adam talked about dragging and dropping content into Moodle. Google Classroom does that, but not in the same way. So I will show you though that you can pick and drag things within the kind of modules. So if I decide that the first thing I really want them to know is about library services, I can add that to the top, and then they can do the syllabus. So I can put things in the order that I want them in, or I can drag them between modules. When you upload things, so like when you create an assignment, you can drag and drop things in there. So, and that is what we're looking at next. So let's go back to the blank page. Okay, so in my classwork tab, I'm going to create a topic, and it's going to be like week 1, for example. And then I can come in and populate that with content. So if I create an assignment, I can say this is just going to be like nope. What you need to know about me is I'm really bad at spelling, and it's hard to type. So this assignment's going to be a check-in. It's like, tell me in 100 words how you're feeling about the online courses, just to kind of make sure that people are aware that we know that this is a struggle for them. So I can add things here. So I can add things straight from my Google Drive, from my computer. I can hyperlink into a website. So I can maybe link the COVID task force website in here if students have questions about that. I can also add a YouTube video. So if I have like a fun video that I want them to watch and de-stress during this time, I might add that way. And those are just with normal hyperlinks. So that's making it really easy for us to add content to this. Basically, what you will want to see there's 4 different things you can add. So you can add an assignment, a quiz, a question, or a material. And the difference on this screen is this assignment thing here, and then the kind of icon. So that tells students at a glance kind of what's coming up. So if everything is a material, they might not understand that one of those things is actually a quiz. So make sure that you're adding the correct thing. The other thing that changes is kind of this rubric piece down here. So we can add this to all of our classes. So like I was saying, if you have multiple sections of the same class, you could come in this assignment and say, I want all of my classes to do this. I'm going to go ahead and just select all of them. So this could also be important for like the advising module classes. So if they're all doing the same readings or something, one person could populate those and then just invite the actual people teaching each section, just to kind of make it a little easier on us. By us, I mean in the universal sense. So we can pick the points. So if this was worth 5 points, 10 points, ungraded, that is kind of up to you. We can pick a due date. So if I want this due tomorrow, I can say that. I don't really care what the time is. Topic, I'm going to go ahead and say week 1. I can add a rubric. So this will tell students kind of how I'm planning to grade them for this assignment. That's kind of nice. Students look for that quite often. So it's kind of a nice feature to have. And then there's a thing called Originality Reports. So this is a new feature in Google Classroom because we don't have the G Suite Enterprise, whatever. You only get 3 per semester. So if you had 3 writing assignments and you wanted to turn originality reports on each one of those, then that would be fine. You can't turn them on for 10 of your assignments for the semester. So just to clarify, the 3 that you're using go to all of your students. So it's per the assignment, not per the number of students. Does that make sense?
No.
It didn't make sense to me either.
I lost.
It's okay. So Originality Reports, have you ever used Turnitin?
No.
Okay, so Turnitin is a program that you can have students turn in like written assignments. Then it kind of analyzes them based on things that are freely available on the web, based on.
That's a plagiarism detector.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it is a plagiarism detector. And it can kind of give you like a percentage of plagiarism or whatever. It's not perfect.
It'll
So I don't mean to cut you off. So what that basically doing is it's just checking plagiarism.
yeah, it's gonna check.
Okay.
It's gonna check and see if they look at the
That lost me a little bit.
Yeah. So this does check for plagiarism, except because it's a Google product, the only place that they're looking is on Google. So if they went to Wikipedia and they copied the whole article, you would see that. But if they took their brother's term paper and turned it in, you wouldn't see that. It's definitely not perfect, and because we don't have enterprise, we only get 3 of them. Use it, don't use it. But if you have good experiences with it, let me know because I'd be interested. So that's kind of how doing that works. And up here, you can also schedule this, assign it, or save it as a draft. So I'm going to go ahead and assign it. So it works the same way when you do like quizzes or questions. So a quiz links automatically to a Google form. So for the purposes of the rest of the assignment, we're really encouraging people to use Google Forms for quizzes, whether they're using Google Classroom or Moodle, just because it's really easy. We did have a question yesterday about how to set like a timed test on Google Forms. There is a plugin called Timify Me here that is supposed to work really nicely for this. I've not tried it. And I have like personal concerns about third-party app with privacy information. It's possible that they're kind of getting in some of the data from the form, but it's a solution. So that's kind of what quizzes do. So as you can see, it's already creating a blank quiz. If you already have a quiz set up, you can turn this off and come in and add something from your drive. So, for example, I could add this quiz that I've already got, and that was really easy to do. Questions look kind of the same, but a little bit different. And I'll talk about those in just a second. And then materials is for readings and kind of websites and videos. And this is how I would add like a recording of a Zoom lecture or Google Hangout, which we'll talk about later today. Any questions about any of that? Cool. So discussion forums, Google Classroom doesn't actually have discussion forums. That's kind of the one downside. However, if you want to, you can use the stream as a discussion forum. So you could ask your question and then have students respond and comment to each other. That's really not the purpose of the stream, but you could use it that way. My preference is to create a question and say something. All right, my question is, what's up? It's going to be due on Friday. And I'm going to put it in the week 1 assignment. So the thing about questions on Google Classroom is that students cannot see other students' posts. until they've turned their own in, which is sometimes really nice because that way they can't kind of accidentally use the same kind of thoughts. But sometimes it's kind of a pain. So, for example, if your students are procrastinators and you have an assignment that says you need to post a discussion question and comment to 3 of them by Friday, some students won't post until Friday, and they won't know if other people have posted yet either until they post theirs. So then they have to do the entire assignment late instead of just their actual post. My recommendation, if you're going to plan on doing discussions in Google Classroom, is to kind of do it, and really in Moodle either, is to say, by Wednesday, you need to have your discussion question posted, and by Friday, you need to have responded to 3 other students. That way, there's kind of set times for when they have to turn in that first piece so that they can access everyone else's work. Okay, so I'm going to ask this. And then I'm going to toggle back into, okay, so there's 2 other things that I kind of want to point out. One of them is this Google Calendar thing up here. So on the stream, I've turned in some stuff and I've made it due on Thursday and Friday, so you can kind of see how that looks. If I go into this Google Calendar here, it opens up my calendar, and if I turn on kind of the test thing, we can see that I have my assignment up here. So it'll tell me what's coming due in my classes on my calendar. So this goes to professors and to students so that they can kind of keep track of what's going on. They can toggle these off. So sometimes it's kind of annoying. As you can see, I have like 3 of them in a row. That's because I added them to 3 classes that I taught. So you can turn them off. I recommend students not doing that. And then the other thing that is here is a link to a Google Drive. So when you add anything to Classroom, it's going to put it in a Class Drive folder. So if I go in here, you can see that these are the things that I've added to that Class Drive. What you need to know about this is that this is your personal Drive folder. So I can say, let me add something. If I want to add this search exercise document from my desktop, I can just, usually I can click and drag it, but my trackpad has problems. So if I go in and upload a file, let's add this one. Okay, so this is going to put this in my folder for this class. That does not publish it in the class. So I would have to go in still into the class and say add an assignment or material, and I can add it from my Google Drive folder. So this is kind of what I just added there. So that's how that would work. So it doesn't automatically publish to the class. Students have their own Google Drive folders as well. If they upload assignments there, you will not see them unless they post them in the class. So my recommendation is that they don't use that function. They could to keep organized, but they need to understand that they have to actually respond to the assignment. So for example, if I'm in this class over here, I just posted a new assignment. It's a check-in. So if I come into my classwork as a student, I can see what's been assigned and what I've done and what I haven't done. So I can see that I responded to this, and I got a 5 out of 5 because my professor graded it. I can see that I turned in these things. So if I go back here and do this assignment, I can say, I'm going to add from my Google Drive. I don't know what that annual report is, but that sounds fun. And then I can mark it as done. So that's how you turn in your assignment. So you have to mark it as done after you add the upload or make the comment to make sure that students understand that. The last thing I want to show you is a plugin called Share to Classroom. So this is a really easy way to add web content to Google Classroom. So if I find like a New York Times article that I'm really interested in posting to my class as an assignment, I can come up to the plugin up here, and it's going to load all of my classes so I can add it to my test class. I can create an assignment based off of this and say, read and comment, and then I can assign. So that's going to add that really quickly into my class without me having to go find it and upload it in the actual app. So that's called Shared Classroom. It's free, it's easy to use. I think that's about it. Does anybody have any questions about Google Classroom or kind of adding content online or anything else?
So I added my colleagues, now I can't create.
Okay. That might be a thing that we can look into. That was kind of happening yesterday with some people too, so we might be able to answer that pretty easily. Any other questions? So what I can tell you is that at the end of the day, or by the end of the day, we're going to be sending out kind of invitations to faculty-led discussion groups about adding stuff online in kind of your discipline areas, kind of an idea sharing, brainstorming, ask questions if you have them kind of thing. Liz is going to be there to answer questions about tech stuff or like resources and library stuff. So we're going to send those out by the end of the day so you can see when they're going to be. I think they're all going to be online, so they're going to be through a Zoom link. So we'll send that to you. If you have like concerns about going online, the library will be open tomorrow. So you can come sit in the library and do the Zoom link through there, and we can help you access that. And then Friday, we're having kind of an open work day where Liz will be there to kind of help put stuff online, answer questions. And we're going to make that a Zoom link as well. So you can come to the library in person. We'll be open on Friday as of right now. Or you can come through the Zoom link. We'll be there to help you either way. You have our emails because we've sent out many of them so far. So we're really here to help. Make sure that you do scan requests if you have course readings that you know you're going to have. This is the link to add the scan. So it's tinyurl.com/Beloit text. As soon as we can get those all kind of going, we can figure out kind of the pace that we need to be scanning at. We're kind of furiously doing that right now. So that's kind of the updates we have right now. We're sending, yeah.
There's one question. The link that you have here, you see at the bottom, is Google Classroom. Is that Google's Hub Center, or based off the information?
It goes to the Google support site.
Yes, it goes to the Google support site.
I think, have we shared this out? Oh, we did.
Yeah, so there's a couple of links on the kind of agenda for the day. There's a smaller, I don't know what it is. There's a smaller link at the bottom that shows you how to get to the agenda, which has clickable links. And then there's also kind of the help pages for Moodle and Google Classroom. So those are helpful resources, but I've taught on Google Classroom. Adam's the expert on Moodle. So just send us emails if you have questions. We're happy to help.
Did I understand you saying that both of you are also Moodle administrators or Google?
Kelly and I, the librarians, are Moodle administrators. So we can go ahead and access any of the Moodle content. So if your students have questions, that's a really easy way for you to send them to us to answer. We can't be admins in classes on Google that you create yourselves. We'd like to have the librarian embedded there as a co-teacher or as a kind of a student that can comment on things. Any other questions? All right. Thanks so much. Let us know if you need help. We're here to help.